Reports have come out from ESPN's Tom Pelissaro that the Rams have given Matthew Stafford permission to seek a trade. Now, the fact that it's gotten this far shows that the Rams are serious and Matthew Stafford's serious. But Vinny B came out with something interesting. He said it's something to keep an eye on per sources, the persuasiveness of Tom Brady. Guys, what do you think about Stafford and Silver and Black possibly and Brady bringing them home and delivering
So
them?
the Stafford thing kind of makes sense, right? You know, Stafford and the Rams are at a situation. The team is not sure if they want him back. You know, the short-term nature of the remainder of Stafford's career kind of makes it a little weird based off of their roster. You got Jared Verse, you got Puka Nacua, and they have to get paid, right? They need flat cap flexibility going forward. They have such a young roster. And I would think the Rams will probably want to find a quarterback that is, you know, on the same timeline as the stars of their team. It could kind of otherwise grow with their roster, right? So it makes sense. Now, people say that there's a chance that the Rams can make nice with Stafford and kind of change his contract so it'll be more advantageous to the Rams. But I tend to think that the Rams are ready to move him. Right now, this is the thing, right? From a Raider perspective, because we always got to keep it in a Raider perspective. The compensation, right? Now, the Rams are not going to sit there and go out and get another quarterback and have Matthew Stafford sitting there waiting with $49 million on their cap, right? Like if the Raiders are a team that like Stafford wants to play for when he goes out to go get his contract, it's going to be based off of the compensation. Now, I don't see the Raiders giving up a first-round pick. I really, to be honest with you, have leaned towards Aaron Rodgers because it's not going to cost the Raiders much of anything from a contractual standpoint and from a draft compensation standpoint. But the thing is that Stafford has a little bit more left of his career. He's 37 as opposed to Rodgers, who will be 42. So that's a 5-year difference. I think Matthew Stafford's arm is still just as viable as it was 6 or 7 years ago. Stafford has been getting hurt, but if you really look at it, the Raiders are kind of in the driver's seat. Now, Vinny Bonsier brought this up, the Tom Brady effect. Tom Brady's power persuasion, the GOAT coming in and persuading a great player like himself and Matthew Stafford to come over to the Raiders and why it would work for him and how they can build around him. And also, the fact that Pete Carroll is 73 years old, right? And he's not long for the Raiders, and they want to win now. And Matthew Stafford is going to see that commitment in the offseason. You got cap room, you got spy tech, and you have Brady, who actually did this same thing down in Tampa Bay, right? So it makes sense. It's the same argument I made for Rodgers, right? Now, the thing about it is, from where I look at it is that the Rams would probably want to deal with the Raiders too, because they I'm hearing rumors about the New York Giants, but I would think that the Rams would want to get Matthew Stafford out of the NFC and into the AFC, right? So there are a few caveats here, right? So when you start talking about money, right, what does that look like for the Raiders, and what would be a real scenario for the Raiders? We're going to get into that really quickly. It will probably look like a third rounder. Now, some people say first rounder is what the Rams are looking for. Don't be surprised if the Raiders don't give up a first or second round. It doesn't make sense for a player of that age, right? And also, the Raiders have other options, right? They can draft a quarterback at 6. They can go sign Aaron Rodgers. There are other free agent guys out there, right? And the Rams fully guaranteeing $40 million of his compensation over the next 2 years kind of leaves the Raiders in the impasse, right? I think what gets the Stafford deal done is how much of Stafford's contract the Raiders are willing to eat on their cap. And that's what it all comes down to. It all comes down to that. And it all comes down to the fact whether Tom Brady and the Raiders see fit to do that, based off of the fact that they are trying to build something. We have other people on this roster that we need to pay too, such as the Rams. We got some young players, and we got our cornerstone piece in Max Crosby that we got to pay. Right now, the thing for me is that, look, man, the Raiders, whether it's Stafford, Rodgers, Sanders. Now, I've been making videos about quarterbacks this whole offseason. Need to upgrade a quarterback no matter how they do it. And my mind is open to all of it. I'm open to Shador. I'm open to Cam Ward. I'm open to taking a veteran and drafting Will Howard. I'm open to anything and any route possible to improve the quarterback situation, because if you're telling me that I have a chance to get Matthew Stafford and I don't at least kick the tires on it, and I don't have to give a first-round pickup, and I don't have to eat his whole contract up, and you have a guy like Tom Brady who can definitely get the deal done, I think the Raiders have a decided advantage in this. We're in the right conference. We have the money. You know, if you're going to give a lower rung draft pick, we're picking towards the top of the draft in every round. So our third round pick would probably weigh more than a lot of others. And when you talk about the Giants being ahead of us in the draft, the Giants are in the NFC, and I don't think the Rams want to do that. You know, if they're smart, right? So, look, I'm going to be 100% real with you, man. Pete Carroll, Tom Brady, they're looking to turn things around quickly. And the Raiders have been unsettled at the most important position in the National Football League. And the past two head coaches and GMs suffered under that. These guys are not going to do that. I'm going to tell you right now, securing Stafford, Carroll can have a bridge quarterback on the roster, so that would allow them to go get BPA, go out and draft a kid like a Will Howard if he's available in the third round or something like that. Sit him, let him learn through Matthew Stafford, and you can have a clear and concise concession plan from Pete Carroll. You can also get the coach of the future on the roster, and they could set the Raiders up for extended success. To me, this is something that you would definitely want to look into. The AFC West is ultra competitive. You can't go into the AFC West with Aiden O'Connell, a starting quarterback, man. You know, and when I look at it, this all comes down to money and draft compensation. If it's a third rounder and the Rams eat a lot of the money for the Raiders, even if the Raiders eat more than half of it, I'm okay with it. And I'm telling you right now, if this does happen, which it looks like it is going to happen, because teams don't allow their starting quarterback to seek a trade unless they're willing to trade him and they want to trade him and move on from him, I think our ace in the hole is Tom Brady. And I think Tom Brady being in the building and talking to Matthew Stafford and convincing him of what it looks like for an older quarterback coming to another team that wants to win. Tom Brady's done that before. He can convince Stafford, listen, man, I know what you need. I'm going to go out there and get you what you need, right? And I think this puts the Raiders in the driver's seat for the services of Matthew Stafford. Guys, listen, if you like this video, hit that like, hit that subscribe. We're on the road to 15K. Share this thing out all over social media. And I want to hear what you guys think. That's the most important part of these videos. I want to hear what you guys think. So listen, let's get the conversation started down in the chat. Hit that like button and leave your comments, please. Whether you agree, whether you disagree, it's all valid. I respect all of y'all opinions, man. But yo, listen, we're gonna get back on this a little later. I'm gonna drop this short, and tonight we're gonna break this down on Raider Nation Unlimited, 6:15 EST, right after I get home. You guys, let me tell y'all something, man, are much appreciated. Thank you guys. Have a great day.